The Late Show studio pulsed with energy, a warm, electric charge as Stephen Colbert strode to his desk. His grin was bright, his presence magnetic. Part wit, part heart. The audience roared their welcome, a wall of sound promising sharp truth and real laughs ahead. Across from him sat Elon Musk. The billionaire mogul lounged in his chair, tousled hair framing eyes that glinted with arrogance. His presence loomed heavy, wealth and power radiating off him. The crowd, part Colbert loyalists, part Musk devotees, clapped and cheered, their excitement edged with unease. Beneath the laughter, something else simmered, the hint of a clash. Colbert began with his trademark grace. "Folks, we've got a big guest tonight. Elon Musk, the guy with more money than some countries, and a plan to ditch us all for Mars." The line landed perfectly. Laughter rolled across the studio, the audience leaning into Colbert's wit, trusting his knack for cutting through bravado. Musk smirked, reclining deeper. "Stephen, I'm saving humanity one rocket at a time." "You're welcome." The condescension dripped. Applause faltered, scattered and thin. A ripple of unease spread. Here was a man too big for the room. Colbert arched an eyebrow. "Saving us, huh? Still flashing that billionaire glow like it's a privilege just to watch you." The crowd chuckled, but the mood tightened. A sparring match had begun. Colbert pressed forward. "So, Elon, Mars colonization. Is this really about humanity's future, or just a playground for the ultra-rich to escape the rest of us?" The audience erupted in laughter, applause swelling again, the question sharp yet playful. Musk shrugged, his voice cool, dismissive. "Of course it's serious. Earth's a mess. Mars is the future." His disdain was audible. The crowd shifted uneasily. Some clapped, others frowned, their discomfort spreading. Colbert leaned in, his tone soft but cutting. "The future, huh? What about those of us left footing the bill for your cosmic joyride?" The words hung like a challenge. The air stiffened. Musk's smirk faltered, his fingers drumming the armrest. "Oh, Stephen," he sneered, whining about bills now. "Stick to comedy. Leave the vision to me." A gasps rippled through the crowd. A few boos slipped out. The tension snapped taut, the studio suddenly a battleground. Colbert's smile hardened. "Comedy, sure, Elon. But I'm not the one dodging reality with a private planet." The retort cracked like a whip. The audience roared, clapping harder, their faith in Colbert surging. Musk sat rigid, his smirk replaced by a thin, strained line. His fingers drummed faster, the weight of the room tilting against him. The spark had caught. The fuse was lit. Musk's fingers tapped the armrest, restless, sharp. His cold eyes flicked over the audience like they were beneath him, an emperor surveying subjects he'd already dismissed. Colbert sat tall, his grin fading into iron resolve. "Dodging reality, Elon. That's rich. You think Mars fixes everything while we're still here picking up the pieces." The jab landed. The audience erupted, applause cracking like thunder, a wall of support behind him. The battleground was clear now, Musk's arrogance against Colbert's steady fire. Musk leaned forward, his tone icy. "Oh, Stephen. So noble. Crying for the little people while I'm out here solving real problems. Maybe stick to your jokes." The words hit like a shove, dismissing the room. The audience turned, booing loud, a wave of anger crashing back at him. Colbert's eyes flashed. "Jokes, sure. But at least I'm not pretending my bank account makes me a savior." "Who are you solving problems for, Elon? Humanity? Or yourself?" It cracked like lightning. The audience exploded, some leaping to their feet, the studio shaking with cheers. Musk's veneer slipped. He slashed the air with his hands, his voice snapping. "You don't get it. I'm building the future. You're stuck in the past, whining about fairness." "Pathetic." The words snarled, raw entitlement pouring out. The audience jeered louder, their boos a storm, their loyalty hardening around Colbert. But Colbert didn't flinch. His voice was steady, calm as stone. "The future, huh? Sounds like an excuse to leave us behind. I'm not whining, Elon. I'm watching out for them." He gestured to the crowd. Their roar was deafening, a tidal wave that shook the walls. Musk's scorn had only fed the fire. The divide was too wide, the room already lost to him. And then, the breaking point. Musk shot to his feet, his chair scraping with a harsh screech. His voice boomed. "I don't need this, Stephen! You're a clown! I'm done with your sanctimonious garbage!" He ripped off his mic, the cord flailing wild as his face twisted with rage. "Keep your little show. I've got better things to do." The billionaire stormed off, footsteps stomping hard, the crowd's boos cascading over him, some cheering Colbert as Musk vanished into the wings. His sheen of control was gone. Rage had stripped him bare. Colbert leaned back, unshaken, his hands lifted in mock salute. "Elon, take care. Mars won't miss you." The parting shot landed cool and sure. The studio erupted, applause and cheers flooding like a tidal wave. Musk's exit was already legend, his arrogance exposed under the lights. Backstage chaos sparked, producers scrambling, headsets buzzing, phones lighting up with messages. Musk had shoved past crew, his coat whipping as he snarled under his breath, disappearing into the night. At the desk, Colbert sat steady, his face a mask of quiet strength. The empty chair, the dangling mic, trophies of a clash won. The audience's faith roared around him, their voices rising in triumph. A night turned upside down, a billionaire undone, and a host who stood his ground for them. The studio door slammed shut behind Musk, a man whose ego had cracked under Colbert's steady fire. His departure was a blaze, but it didn't quiet the storm he left behind. Whispers raced across the crew. Musk had been prickly from the start, pacing backstage, tense about Colbert's reputation for slicing through fluff. Tonight, that tension had exploded. Clips were already flying online. "I'm done with your sanctimonious garbage!" A viral flare spreading in real time. Some mocked his tantrum, others hailed Colbert's stand. But in the studio, the spotlight held steady on one man, Colbert. He leaned into the mic, smooth and sure. "Well, folks, looks like Elon's off to colonize the green room. Guess he didn't like the view from Earth." Laughter rippled, then swelled into a wave. The crowd exhaled, clapping and cheering, grabbing the lifeline Colbert had tossed. A blowout had become a bond. He grinned, miming Musk's mic toss with a shrug. "I thought we'd talk rockets, not launch one offstage. My mistake." The crowd roared, their laughter booming. Their applause surging like a tide he rode with ease. The tension melted, replaced by a spark of unity. Musk's rage was fading into memory. Colbert's calm was rewriting the night in real time. Then, with perfect timing, he pivoted. "All right, enough of that. We've still got a show to do. You folks ready for some fun?" The response was electric. Cheers rattling the rafters, people on their feet, a roar of energy that shook the walls. What had teetered on chaos now pulsed with triumph. The cameras caught Colbert standing tall at his desk, posture easy, grin wide and true, eyes gleaming with quiet strength. A host who had faced down a billionaire's tantrum and turned it into a win for the everyman. The audience locked on him, clapping, cheering, voices soaring, eager to see him close out a night that had danced on the edge of disaster and come out sharper, stronger, a tale of principle over privilege, a clash that ended not in fire but in laughter, and a victory forged with wit and heart. Colbert leaned forward, voice steady, warm. "Well, folks, we've had a little excitement tonight. But that's the thing about this show. You never know who's going to storm off, and you never know who's going to stand with you. And I've got to say..." He gestured toward the audience, his smile soft, genuine. "I'd take you over Mars any day." The roar that followed shook the studio to its core. Turbulence lingered in the air, but Colbert steadied the wheel. Elon took off faster than his rockets. "But we're still here, right?" His chuckle lit the room, a spark that reignited their spirit. The crowd burst into laughter, some whooping loud. A release that bridged the night's rift. A storm had passed, and now it was their story. Colbert's gestures stayed calm, his resolve weaving them close, Musk's scorn dissolving under his light. The show's pulse beat on, steady and strong. Beyond the studio, the digital tide swelled. Clips of Musk's furious, "I'm done with your sanctimonious garbage," spliced against Colbert's Quicksilver quip spread like wildfire. The internet split, some mocking Musk's ego, others praising Colbert's backbone. The clash had grown bigger than the room, an echo chamber of pride, anger, and triumph. Musk's team stayed silent, no statement to douse the flames. Colbert's crew, meanwhile, watched the numbers climb, the clips loop. The moment etched itself into the culture. His steady hand had turned chaos into victory, the clash a stepping stone that only sharpened his shine. On stay, Colbert guided the night forward. The musical guest took the stage, bright notes washing the room in rhythm and joy. The audience swayed, applauded, and laughed again. The raw edge of conflict softened into something glowing, something they could carry with them out into the night. As the clock wound down, Colbert stood alone under the lights. His presence filled the space unshakable, a beacon of grace and grit. "You folks are the heart of this. Thanks for sticking with me." His smile widened, warm, real. Hit that like button if you felt it. Subscribe for more real nights. The room erupted into a standing ovation, a roar that rattled the rafters. The cameras swept wide, faces lit with pride. Some buzzing, others beaming, all bound to a night that ended bold and clear. Musk's arrogance was already a fading memory. Colbert's triumph blazed bright. The screen faded to black. A perfect close to a show that soared. A legacy of truth over bluster, sealed in their cheers. Hey, if you love this stand, smash that like, subscribe, and stick with us for more.